What's good? This is Marcus the Fingaz back with another video. In this video, we're going to talk all about the Spitfire Audio Aperture Cassette Symphony plugin, a great plugin. Before we get into that, go to defingaz.com/free plugins, defingaz.com/free plugins to check out a free plugins tier guide that I've put together that you can use to find free plugins and that you can use free plugins in your music productions and stuff. defingaz.com/free plugins. Check it out. Aperture is a great initiative that Spitfire Audio started, I believe, last year as part of the Black Weekend, where they have a bunch of Black Friday deals during that whole weekend after Thanksgiving, which is a holiday in the United States. We won't talk about all that. It's celebrated in the United States, but the deals are incredible from Spitfire Audio. I've gotten some great plugins, especially from like the ton deal every year. That's always something to look forward to. And then they put together these great bundles. In this particular year, the last year also included, when you bought a certain amount of plugins during the Black Weekend, you also got access to the series called Aperture. Last year was Aperture the Stack. This year is called Aperture Cassette Symphony. And if you spend $299, I believe, and 299 euros or 249 pounds, you will have access to the Cassette Symphony for free, but you have to spend that amount before the end of the Black Weekend. I will include a link in the description and maybe in these cards somewhere where you can find out more details about that. But also after the Black Weekend sale, you can buy the Cassette Symphony Stack Aperture plugin. You can buy the Aperture Cassette Symphony plugin outright, so you don't have to spend a certain amount this weekend if you want to wait, or maybe you've already blew your budget for the holiday season. Whatever the case is, you can buy Aperture Cassette Symphony. But what we're going to do is we're going to dive in on the sounds of this thing, because you're like, this guy keeps talking. What I'm going to do, I have my Logic session here that has all of my Spitfire Audio plugins that I have. As you can see, I'm at 41, and by the end of today, we'll be at 42. So let me load this up now. What I do is I just duplicate a previous one because I can have that loaded up already. We're going to go to AU Instruments. We're going to go to Spitfire Audio. I already have the stack. I actually have the free version. There is a free version of the stack, speaking of free plugins, that I have there. I don't have the full stack, but there is a free version. We're not going to talk about that here. We're going to talk about Cassette Symphony. This was provided to me by the great team over at Spitfire Audio, so thank you to Spitfire Audio for providing this great plugin and for making these great plugins at no charge. And then what I'm going to do is, at no charge for me to use and review this video for you, I'm going to label this Aperture Cassette Symphony. And I'm going to put this in alphabetical order because all my things are labeled in sort of Passionata should be down there. That's a whole other thing. I like to keep it in alphabetical order for this particular template. And then before we get to the sounds, let me go to save as template. And I save this as my Spitfire Audio Libraries template. So plugins that I have a lot of, companies that I have a lot of plugins for, I like to put them all in one sort of template. And it really helps when I want to just use that one company sound. I believe Spitfire Audio, like I said, I'm at 42 now. So I'm getting close to that 50 mark. Ever close. I don't have all their stuff, but I have a lot of it. So we're going to go to the Cassette Symphony. We're going to open that back up. And we're going to just dive in right here on the UI. You see that we have dynamics and expression here going on. Let me make sure my recorder is enabled. That's what these two are. And when you adjust the, what is this? The expression over here on the right, you'll see the aperture opening up from sort of solo strings, intimate ensemble to this huge orchestra. And the way they did it is they took these orchestral sounds, because, you know, Spitfire Audio is really, really great with the orchestra, and they ran them all through 200 cassette tapes, which is insane. I don't know what made them come up with this idea, but they ran this through 200 cassette tapes, and they created this plugin for that. You'll see, you'll hear some of those sounds shortly. So you're like, just stop talking. I won't go over the UI really too much, maybe as I'm playing through it, but you see you have some articulations down here for the woodwinds. We have woodwinds, we have strings, brass, and percussion, so typical orchestral sections, and we'll just play a little bit of each. So this will be the high winds. This is the, right out the box with the aperture all the way closed, so intimate sound. I'm going to open it up. Here it just gets wide. And I don't know what I was playing. I was just making stuff up. We're going to go through, let's go to, I won't play all the articulations because you'll have to get it for yourself. Let's play through tape loop. like how it closes down to that intimate feel. The big knob here gives you some contextual sort of effects that you can also access by clicking the effects knob here. The same thing, you have a low pass filter. In this particular sound, you have tightness, release, reverb, noise. So let's crank up the noise. You hear the noise. Obviously, that's tape noise. That's literally cassette tape noise. We have reverb. So you hear the space there. You have the release. So when I let go of the key, you hear the release kind of short. And you have tightness. Then we have a low pass filter. That is the high winds. I'm not going to go through all the articulations again. We're going to go to, since we're in winds, we're going to do low winds. And because we did tape loop and sustain in the last one, we're going to do scattered for this one. Yeah, I really like that sound. We'll do hairpin. Another great one. Again, you have some more settings over here. You can change the key switches. You can adjust the key switch note, activate normal or latch, round robins, reset on transport. You have some options here you can go through for layers, transpose. You can also adjust where the key range is on your keyboard. I like to just keep the default settings. I have a keyboard here that I use for that. We'll go through, we won't do the warn. We'll do the warn for the brass. So we're going to do low brass warn. Let's see how that sounds. Sounds like a really, really straight cassette tape. Let's play through reels on this one. So it's almost a blend between, I would call this like a hybrid sound. It's a blend between sort of the analog of the tape stuff and the degradation of character with the traditional orchestra. And I really like that blend. Yeah, let's play the high brass warn here. I believe that was low brass warn. I'm going to play high brass warn. Double click. Let's go to staccato. And that would be great. Might turn the reverb a little bit. There's a lot of reverb in that sound without having the reverb up at all. So I would actually, that would sound great layered with some of the other high brass sounds from the traditional Spitfire audio libraries, like Albion 1 or something like that, or even Epic Brass and Woodwinds. So that would be a great layer there. Let's go to, I did Woodwinds. I'm going to end with strings. So let's go to percussion. We might play both of these. So let's see what we have in percussion. We have a kit and we have a timpani. So I'm thinking the way this laid out, I'm thinking you have two octaves here of the same kit layered. So I'm thinking this would be kick. Or sort of like a bass, yeah. Nothing on the black key, so you just have the white keys here. So you basically take that kit and they put it through the tape, sort of processing. I would probably layer this with something like the Low Percussion series or the Albion 1 Darwin Percussion, but you can layer this with some of the other percussion to get sort of a blend between, again, the organic with the digital tape stuff or the analog tape. I also released a MIDI pack, my first MIDI pack of cinematic drum loops that you can use. Drag it in and see how it sounds on this. Sounds like this. It's called the Fingaz. Go to defingaz.com/MIDI. Check out my cinematic drum loops volume 1. Yeah, really powerful sound. Then we have Timpani. It is starting on a different note. I don't know why it's starting on A and not C, but maybe it's tuned to that. I don't have my tuner open. And in this case, we do have some notes on the black, some sounds on the black notes. Let me make sure. I don't believe. No, there's nothing on the black notes there. So you can see a little bit. It's kind of hard to see here, but you can see that there's a little bit of on the black notes itself, on the timpani, you see that's a little bit of light there, a little bit of different shade there, so you can tell that there's notes there, as opposed to it being straight black where there's no notes here. Ideally, I had actually asked for Spitfire Audio if they could just make them colors. I know that's something that Native Instruments does. Just color them other than white so that you can clearly see that, you know, the keys are white and black. You can see the light, the shading and things, but maybe just have them be a color, you know, maybe be the color of the plugin. So in this case, all the notes that have keys or sounds on them, make it be sort of this blue green cassette color type thing on the keys. That would be kind of cool. Yeah, just a suggestion there. And traditional orchestras usually only have 4 timpani. So if you're doing a piece or orchestral piece, you can't have more than 4 tuned timpani. You could technically, I've seen some with 5, but usually you won't have more than 4 sort of notes. And in some cases, depending on how big the break is in between where a timpani player is playing, they can tune the timpani. You know, there might be digital versions out now where they can tune the timpani to a different note. But usually, whatever the 4 notes that the timpanis are tuned to at the start of the concert is the same 4 notes. The timpanis will be at the end, or maybe they adjust it between songs as needed. But yeah, more than you care to know. And really, in this particular case, I don't really hear the tone, the note so much as I do just knowing that it's a percussion sound. So I don't really hear the tuning of the timpani. I hear more of the just the percussion, you know, impact. Yeah, so great. And then we're gonna end with strings, but I'm gonna play through. Let's play through low strings here, and then I'm gonna layer this with maybe some other strings. And you can hear how that would sound layered with some traditional strings. And it's taking a while for the sounds to load up here on my system. That might be just how my system is trying to get all the sounds loaded up into RAM or whatever. And I'm just playing, for those who care, I'm playing a, let's call it I'm in the key of F, so it'll have to be, I'm in F minor, so we're playing D flat major to E flat major to F minor. So 6, 7, 1 in F minor. And I might add the 7th for each of those chords. Let's see, tape loop. Yeah, I like that. Let's go to high strings. And what you can do if needed is you can go in here and you can pick which articulations you want to see, you don't want to see, you want to have, don't want to have. So you can really be flexible there. I'm going to cancel that. I like to just use defaults just there. Let me play through a couple more of these on the high strings. Then we'll do hairpin. Yeah, really like that sound. So with the strings here in particular, what I would do is, let's say we go to, I like the sound of this with, let's say, maybe frozen strings, which I don't have, cinematic frozen strings right here. And just to show you what that looks like, I'm gonna let that open up. As you can see, similar plugin. We're gonna go to this. Actually, I have it labeled wrong. I gotta change that really quick. Give me 1 second. Frozen strings. I have it labeled as epic strings. Let me make sure that my epic strings is what it needs to be. Okay. So yeah, I need to change my frozen strings. You get to see this live. I'm probably not going to edit any of this because you're going to see me adjust my template here live. And then we're going to go to this sol tasto to sol pont. And that's how that sounds. Really airy, really otherworldly. I'm going to bring up the super close. And we're going to see if we can keep that there. And then see if I can open this up and keep both of these on the screen here. And we're going to see if we can layer these. And here's what we got. And I want to turn up the reverb here on that, and we'll crank up the reverb on both actually to really give you the washed out feel. And you hear how full it sounds. Even if we go to the tape loops here, you start hearing some of the tape effect come through. And with the tape loop one, I actually want to, I don't see it here. I would have wanted to adjust the sort of attack a little bit, but what we'll do is we'll just bring up the aperture. So I really think the Cassette Symphony really shines when either you're going to layer it with synths or with traditional strings just to add that realism, but you also have some otherworldly things going on with it. You can use it by itself also just as more of an intimate sort of string orchestral sound, but with that sort of twist of the tape analog noise Warren thing, you know, going on, a little bit of degradation of the character, like I said earlier. I like that phrase. And yeah, so I like what's going on there. I'm going to end it there. Actually, I'll play one more little thing. Let's go through, I like the strings. So we'll go through low strings, high strings Warren. This will be the last thing I'll leave you with. Make sure I'm in record. And I'm gonna turn off the frozen strings. We're gonna do just this one. Yeah, really, 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 really great sound. Shout out to Spitfire Audio for creating the Cassette Symphony. Who would have thought you could take an orchestra, run them through well, not who would have thought it, but who would have done it other than Spitfire Audio, run them through 200 cassette tapes and create a plugin about it. So again, spend the minimum amount required over the next few days, and you can get this for free. If not, you can purchase it outright down the line after the Black Weekend. So I will share links to where you can find out more about that. Also, check out my free plugins gear guide, fingaz.com/free plugins. Check out free plugins that you can use in your music productions. And I have more videos on the way, more music on the way. We're entering the holiday season, and I'm sure there's gonna be a bunch of deals coming forward. So definitely be on the lookout. Stay safe and be well, everyone. All right. Peace.